Okay, so this week we're going to make sure that folks are feeling very comfortable with SQL, or the structured query language, as a way of interfacing with relational databases, or the databases we work with commonly in geographic information systems. The first part of the exercise has you visit a website tutorial to kind of brush up on some SQL basic and SQL advanced topics. I'm not going to go over that. I'll let you do that on your own. We'll then work on testing SQL support within ArcGIS, which is part 2 of this week's exercise. So what you see up on the screen right here is an ArcMap document that I've already loaded. We have a Shapefile data frame, and we have a Geodatabase data frame. Inside each of these is essentially the exact same data. It's Idaho counties, one of course in Shapefile format, the other in Geodatabase format. So I'm going to, as you can see, we are working on the Shapefile data frame. It is currently activated, and step number 5 of the project under part 2 has us use the Select by Attributes SQL tool to select all counties with an acreage between 200,000 and 400,000. You're going to need to use a compound expression and the AND keyword to accomplish this. So I'm going to go ahead and launch my attribute table. One easy way to do that, kind of a shortcut, is to select the feature class, or the shapefile in this case, that we want to work with. Then press and hold the Control key and simply double click. That brings up the attribute table. And knowing that we want to work with acreage, that's the piece of data I really want to query upon, I can see that we have an acres field right here. That's the one we're going to use. So I'm going to go ahead and launch the Select by Attributes tool, and I'm going to start building my query. We can see that the majority of the query, the basic part of it, is already written for me. Select star everything from ID counties where, and we're going to build this where clause now. So where acres is greater than, and I'll simply type in 200,000, 200,000. Then we'll use the AND operator here. Acres less than 400,000. Now notice that each part to the left and to the right of this AND operator has to be able to stand on its own if necessary. So we have to use acres greater than whatever, and we have to have acres less than. Each of these has to be essentially a valid SQL expression by itself. We'll go ahead and apply this. And what we see is we have 7 of our 44 Idaho counties have been selected. I'm now going to activate the Geodatabase. Data frame. And I'm going to launch its attribute table, same way. Press and hold Control key and double click. Notice that currently we have 0 of 44 counties selected, and we're going to run essentially the exact same query. There's our acres field again. I'm going to double click this, greater than 200,000 and acres less than 400,000. Good idea to run the verify. Here it says, that our expression has been verified successfully, and we'll click apply, and indeed we get the exact same answer. So that's great. Let's try something a little bit more complicated. I'm going to again return to the Shapefile data frame. I am going to clear my selected features. You see we have nothing selected now. And now I'm going to go on to question number 7. As you saw at question number 6, we did get the exact same results for both the shapefile and feature class. So question number 7 asks us to experiment with the between keyword, and you'll hopefully have learned, or you should have learned all about that with the tutorial I had you complete. So let's go ahead and try this out. Again, we're going to be working on the acres. The exact same thing. We're just going to kind of do this in a different way. So this is the between keyword. So the select star from Idaho counties where is already written for us, and all we need to do is do this. Build this SQL expression. Acres. And now we're going to do some typing. And it really doesn't have to be in all caps for ArcGIS. It's a good habit when you're writing SQL to do that, because there are far more finicky pieces of software than ArcGIS. So anyway, where acres between 200,000 and the other answer here is 400,000. We can, if we want, we can put the semicolon in. We do not need to do that for ArcGIS. But notice here that this is considered an invalid SQL statement. If we run it, we get even more errors, SQL, invalid SQL statement, so on and so forth. So either we wrote something wrong or something else is going wrong. And I'll tell you, we didn't write anything wrong. This is a valid between statement, but it didn't work. Let's go ahead and see if this same thing will work for the Geodatabase. Now I'm going to activate it. I'm going to clear these selected features. Launch the attribute table. Again, there's acres we're going to be working with, and we're going to build this between now. So acres between 200,000 and 400,000. Again, it doesn't matter if we put the semicolon there or not. Now it says that the expression was successfully verified, and if we run this, we'll see that we do get the same 7 counties selected for us. The difference is that the first one, when we were querying across or querying against the shapefile's attribute table is based on a DBase 4, DBase 5 file format. It's not a relational database, it's a flat file database format, and it is not fully ODBC compliant. That's ODBC, Open Database Connectivity. So it's not 100% compliant, and here we see one of the shortcomings of working with the now antiquated shapefile format. Let's go ahead and give it one more test, and we're moving on now to the next page, and we're going to experiment with the in keyword. So I'm going to, before I even move off of this, I'm going to clear selected features here. I'm going to return and do the first query with the shapefile. Okay, launch this thing once again. We're going to run the query here so you can see everything real nice. We're going to run the in keyword, and this time we're not querying on acres, we're querying on name, because what we want to do, we want to select Bannock, Bingham, and Power Counties polygons. So we're going to work on name. Name, there we go. And now we type in, open up parentheses, and I'm going to select Bannock, comma, Bingham, comma. I'm going to slide down here and find power. And I could type it in. I could do the single quote and do that. That's okay. You can do that if you want. Close that up. We're going to apply it. And it worked. Look at there. We have 3 counties selected, and indeed the correct counties. Let's try the same thing over here with the Geodatabase feature class. This Geodatabase is built on Microsoft Access. If you noticed, it's a personal geodatabase. It is a relational database. There is our name field once again. Let's go ahead and build this. So name, and one more time in Bannock, comma, Bingham, comma, and scroll this thing down a little ways until we find power. You know, I could have copied and pasted from the last query that I did, and that would work just fine too. We're going to apply it, and then we get the same 3.